You may not notice it when you pass by a mirror. You may not feel it when you wake up in the morning and see those fine lines staring back at you. But I'm here to tell you something honest, something meaningful. There are signs, clear as day, that you are a good-looking older woman, even if you've never given yourself credit for it. I've spent decades speaking with people just like you, women who've lived full lives, women who've carried families, worked hard, sacrificed, and endured changes that come with the passing years. And through those years, something beautiful happened. A kind of beauty grew. Not the glossy kind you see splashed on magazine covers, but a deeper, more powerful beauty. The kind that walks into a room and makes people pause. Let me tell you how I know you carry it too. First, let's talk about presence. You've likely walked into a room and felt eyes turn. Maybe not everyone stared, but someone did. Maybe they glanced, smiled gently, or their posture shifted just slightly. You felt it, didn't you? That's not just about how you dress or what shade of lipstick you wear. That is presence. And presence, according to a study published in Psychology of Aesthetics, Creativity and the Arts, becomes more pronounced with age, especially in women who are confident and self-assured. The researchers found that people perceived older women with strong personal presence as more attractive, even when controlling for physical traits. That presence you've built over the years through pain, resilience, laughter, and love radiates from you, and it's compelling. Then there's the way people listen when you speak. You may not realize it, but your voice carries weight. It has that natural command. You've lived. You've learned. People feel that. And there's beauty in it, a kind of quiet magnetism. A study from the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that people consistently rate older women's voices as more trustworthy and emotionally engaging than those of younger women. That engagement often translates into attractiveness because people are drawn to those they feel safe with. That's you. You've become someone others feel safe around. That safety is beauty. And how about your eyes? Not the wrinkles around them, not the shape or the makeup. I'm talking about what lives behind them. Your eyes have seen decades of life. They've seen joy and loss. They've held the gaze of children and lovers. They've read books, watched sunsets, wept in silence, and smiled without needing words. That depth cannot be replicated. Scientists at the University of California conducted a study that showed people are drawn to emotional depth and warmth in others' expressions, especially in the eyes. When participants viewed photos of women across different age groups, those who showed depth in their expressions, regardless of age, were consistently rated as more attractive. It's not the absence of time on your face. It's the presence of life in your eyes that makes you stunning. Now let's talk about posture. You may think posture is something you gave up a long time ago. But if you carry yourself with grace, if your back is straight and your shoulders are not burdened by the years people notice, posture speaks before you say a word. A study published in PLOS One revealed that upright posture significantly affects how attractive someone is perceived to be. Participants rated individuals with upright posture as more confident, more capable, and more appealing across all age ranges. That means when you walk into a space and carry yourself with pride, others respond to it. It's not arrogance. It's not vanity. It's dignity. And dignity is deeply attractive. Have you noticed how younger people sometimes compliment you more than those your own age? That's not an accident. It's admiration. Younger generations are drawn to authenticity. You're not trying to be someone else. You're not chasing trends. You found comfort in your skin. That authenticity is magnetic. Research from the Journal of Aging Studies explored how younger adults perceive older adults who are perceived as attractive. The results showed that younger adults often describe good-looking older women as real, elegant, natural, and grounded. These are qualities many younger people wish for themselves, but haven't yet earned. You, however, wear them like a second skin. It shows, and they see it. You may also find people often ask for your opinion, your insight, your advice. That's not just respect. That's recognition of value, and value is beautiful. In a world that often focuses on what's new, it takes strength and courage to stand in your worth and be seen. When people lean in to hear what you say, when they seek your wisdom, They are acknowledging your beauty, not just of mind, but of soul, a soul that's been seasoned. And as odd as it may sound, modern psychological studies support this. In one paper from the gerontologist, researchers found that older adults who were viewed as wise were also seen as more physically attractive than their counterparts, regardless of conventional appearance. There is something magnetic about wisdom. It pulls people in, it invites trust, and it stirs admiration that goes beyond skin deep. And finally, the way you make others feel is perhaps the most powerful sign of your beauty. Have you noticed how people relax around you? How your presence soothes tension? Maybe you've heard someone say they feel better after speaking with you. That's no small thing. That is beauty. A study from the International Journal of Behavioral Development showed that emotional warmth and kindness were consistently rated among the top traits associated with perceived attractiveness, especially in older women. That's because as we age, we crave connection, we value sincerity, and those who offer emotional safety become unforgettable. So if you've ever looked at yourself and wondered whether you still have it, let me speak clearly. You do. In fact, you may have it more now than ever. Because beauty at this stage in life is no longer a costume. It's not something you paint on. It is something that has taken root inside you. It's in how you move, how you speak, how you make others feel. It's in the stories you carry, the way you listen, the light you bring into a room without even trying. You see, the world often forgets to tell older women that they are still desirable, still powerful, still radiant. But I won't forget, because I see it every day, in the clinic, in families, in communities. Women just like you, glowing in a way that only time can teach. You've earned every inch of that glow, and it's time you recognized it too. So no, you may not match the filtered image that dominates screens, but the truth is, those images cannot compete with the real thing. And you, my dear, are the real thing. Every glance you get, every warm smile directed your way, every younger person who lingers in conversation with you, every man or woman who notices your calm presence in a crowded space. These are not coincidences. These are signs, clear, undeniable signs that you are a good-looking older woman, even if you don't always believe it. Maybe it's time you did. Maybe it's time to own that beauty, quietly, proudly. Not to prove it to anyone else, but simply because it's the truth, a truth that's been building for years, a truth that others already see. You are beautiful, you are luminous, and you are not past your prime. You are in it, right now. Every wrinkle is a map, every smile line a memory, every gesture of care a signature of your grace. You don't need anyone to tell you what a mirror never could, because the real evidence is in how the world responds to you. It's in the depth of your relationships, the respect you command, the peace you carry in your spirit. You're not trying to be young again. You are showing the world what age can look like when it is worn with love, and that is what beauty truly means. How can we help more women realize their worth as they grow older? If there is one question I believe we must keep asking, again and again, it is this: how can we help more women realize their worth as they grow older? Because the truth is, so many women reach their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, carrying a quiet question in their hearts. Am I still valuable? Does anyone see me? And what I want to say to every woman who has ever felt invisible, overlooked, or uncertain of her place in the world is this: your worth has not disappeared, it has deepened. But we live in a culture that does not always reflect that truth back to you. So the real challenge is not just helping women rediscover their worth, it is also helping the world learn to reflect it more clearly. Let's start with one of the biggest barriers. Our society often defines value in terms of productivity, beauty, and youth. But women are not factories. They are not only as worthy as the children they raise or the jobs they perform. And beauty cannot be measured only in tight skin or the absence of wrinkles. According to a study published in the Journal of Women and Aging, many older women experience what researchers call invisible aging, where they feel increasingly unseen as they move through public spaces. These women reported feeling overlooked not just by strangers, but sometimes even by their own families. That invisibility wears down the spirit. It leads many to believe their contributions no longer matter. But this is a social lie, not a personal truth. We must challenge that, and we must replace it with action. One of the most effective ways we can help women reclaim their worth is through recognition. Not empty compliments, real recognition. Telling the women in our lives, often and sincerely, that we see them, that we value their wisdom, that their laughter still lights up the room, that their guidance still holds weight. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that positive affirmations and verbal recognition improve not only emotional well-being, but also cognitive resilience in older adults. When people are told they are valued, their mental sharpness increases. That is not poetic. That is biological. Words matter. They stimulate the brain. They help the heart heal. So if we want to start anywhere, we must start with what we say and how often we say it. Another key to helping women realize their worth is intergenerational connection. When older women are given space to share their stories, their life experiences, their humor, and their grief, something powerful happens. Younger generations listen, and in that listening, mutual respect is born. A study conducted by Stanford University found that older adults who regularly engage in mentorship or storytelling roles experienced a greater sense of purpose and self-worth. These women were not just teaching, they were healing. Being needed, being listened to, being able to shape someone else's path gave them a renewed sense of identity. It reminded them that age does not reduce value, it multiplies it. Every time a grandmother tells her story, every time a woman in her 70s sits across from a young professional and offers her wisdom, a bridge is built. And on that bridge, self-worth travels both ways. We also need to give older women spaces that reflect their worth back to them. Media is a powerful mirror, but too often, that mirror is tilted. It shows women in their 20s and 30s. But what about the woman who has lived through 4 decades of marriage, who raised 3 children, who buried a parent, who beat cancer, who survived heartbreak and found joy again? Where is she on our screens? We need her there, in books, in films, on television. Because representation is not just about vanity, it is about dignity. According to data from the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media, women over the age of 50 are drastically underrepresented in film and television. And when they are shown, they are often portrayed as frail, bitter, or comic relief. Rarely are they the heroes. Rarely are they shown in full, with complexity and pride. That has to change. Because when a woman sees someone like her being honored in public space, she is reminded that she still has a place in the world. Another essential step is supporting emotional health without shame. So many women of older age silently suffer through depression, anxiety, or loss. They do not want to be a burden. They do not want to admit that they are struggling. But that silence is dangerous. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, older women are more likely to experience untreated mental health issues than their male counterparts. Yet when provided with supportive therapy, community programs, or even simply peer support, their sense of self-worth improves dramatically. Worth is not just a feeling, it is a condition of mental health. When we build spaces for older women to be honest about what they feel, we build spaces for them to recover their own sense of value. There is no weakness in needing support. There is strength in receiving it. And we must never underestimate the power of community. Women thrive in relationships, in circles, in conversations. Whether it is a walking group, a book club, a faith circle, or a crafting group, community reinforces identity. It reminds a woman that she is not alone, that others walk this path with her, and that she matters not just to her family or her past, but to her present. Research from Harvard University's study of adult development found that women with strong social connections later in life reported higher satisfaction, less cognitive decline, and greater life expectancy. But beyond all those numbers, what they felt was worth. They knew they mattered to someone, and that knowing made all the difference. So how do we help more women realize their worth as they grow older? We listen. We reflect their stories back to them. We challenge the cultural narratives that erase them. We celebrate their presence in media, in leadership, in art, and in the heart of every family. We make room for them to cry when they need to, and laugh loudly when they want to. We say thank you. We say you matter. We stop treating aging as something to fear and start treating it as something to honor. Because every woman who wakes up another morning with breath in her lungs and stories in her bones deserves to know that her life still counts, that she is still seen, that her voice still echoes in the lives around her. Not just because of what she did in the past, but because of who she still is, right now. And when we do that, not only do we help women find their worth again, we create a world that is better for everyone. A world where aging is not a loss, but a gift, and where every woman knows in her heart that she is valued, just as she is.